Billionaire brothers David and Charles Koch are best known for bankrolling conservative causes and candidates while pushing for smaller government and less regulation. They also run one of the largest privately held conglomerates in the U.S., a business that's been willing to push the rules already on the books. Our chief Washington correspondent Peter Cook is here with a Bloomberg Markets investigation. Peter?
Betty, good morning. Brothers Charles and David Koch run a business empire that most Americans have probably never heard of. It includes chemical, textile, trading, and refining businesses spanning more than 50 countries, earning $100 billion a year in revenue. They make everything from gasoline to Dixie cups. Our investigation, detailed in the November edition of Bloomberg Markets magazine, finds it's also a business that's made illicit payments to win foreign contracts and done business with Iran in defiance of a U.S. trade ban.
In Iran, we continue to see a government that represses its people, pursues weapons of mass destruction, and supports terror.
A day after President Bush spoke those words, a purchase order for petrochemical equipment was sent to a Koch Industries subsidiary in Germany. The equipment, according to this internal company document, was for an Iranian methanol plant. Former sales engineer George Bentu, who worked at koch-glitsch from 2001 to 2007, says he was involved in several sales to Iran.
It was pretty fast that I saw an order, not a purchase order, but offers destined with final destination Iran. Probably within the first 2 months I was there.
Bentu says he initially questioned the deals given the U.S. ban on doing business with Iran, but was told they were legal since they didn't involve Koch's U.S. employees. To Bentu, it still felt wrong.
They were trying to find a back door to do business anyway.
Bentu says he was eventually forced out, in part for challenging the Iran sales. The company says the transactions were legal under U.S. law. Internal memos show the company did try to keep U.S. employees shielded from the deals. And Koch says none of its subsidiaries do any business with Iran now. Critics say the sales still did damage.
Companies have a responsibility to comply not only with U.S. law in a technical sense, but to help advance U.S. national security interests.
But questions about Koch's overseas business go beyond Iran. Bloomberg obtained French civil court documents that reveal for the first time that employees at koch-glitsch France made illicit payments to try and win business from private and government-owned companies in Algeria, Egypt, India, Morocco, Nigeria, and Saudi Arabia from 2002 to 2008. Koch fired the business director blamed for allowing the payments. His termination letter refers to inflated commissions used to pay off customer employees and a Moroccan company receiving envelopes of cash. Koch itself concluded the activities constituted violations of criminal law. A spokeswoman says the company fired those involved and took remedial action. Still, a French court said the fired manager was not alone in authorizing the payments and said Koch executives in Europe did not do their due diligence. The payments documented by Koch may violate U.S. law, according to Columbia law professor John Coffey.
You rarely see a case where you get this kind of smoking gun evidence.
Koch declined to say whether they had reported the payments to authorities in the U.S. or France. For the nation's second biggest private company, the illicit payments and the Iran sales are a potential black eye. They also carry political risk for the billionaire Koch brothers, who run the business and have contributed millions to conservative causes and candidates, including Rick Perry and Michelle Bachmann.
Democrats will make this an issue, or at least seek to make it an issue. It's in their interest to portray the Koch brothers as violating, skirting, distorting American law.
Koch Industries declined to make Charles or David Koch available for interviews. In an emailed statement, Melissa Colmia, Koch's director of corporate communications, said, quote, "Given the regulatory complexity of our business, we will, like any business, have issues that arise. When we fall short of our goals, we take steps to correct and address the issues in order to ensure compliance." And Betty, the full Bloomberg Market story can be found at Bloomberg.com, and it hits newsstands later this month.
Peter, this company, it tries to keep a low profile, but the Koch brothers have raised its political profile in recent years. Tell us more about that.
Well, they have. The company has spent more than $50 million, for example, to lobby in Washington since 2006. That's according to the Center for Responsive Politics. They've lobbied on issues like climate change, derivative oversight. The brothers have backed a foundation that has trained thousands of Tea Party activists across the country, become major players in conservative political circles. And the company's political action committees, we mentioned, has been active as well, contributing to conservative candidates around the country. Stu Rothenberg, the political analyst, told us that's made the brothers a target for Democrats and liberal groups, and Rothenberg suggests maybe their contributions will get new scrutiny now.
Peter, thank you so much for bringing us that Bloomberg Markets investigation. A fascinating story.